Welcome everybody to another YouTube video, and today I'm going to be doing a review for you guys. I'm going to be taking a look at the 2021 horror film, The Unholy. And as you guys know, that this past weekend was Easter weekend, and well, this last Friday was Good Friday. And well, there's a horror movie that was released on Good Friday. So as soon as I saw a trailer for The Unholy and it was being released on Good Friday, it was a movie about demonic possession. I said, you know what? Good for this company. Good for them to do something and go be bold and release this type of movie on Good Friday. So I wanted to go and support the movie, and I wanted to check it out and see how well it was. And so this is my review of the 2021 horror film, The Unholy. And when the film first starts, it does star Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who most of you guys will probably know from either Supernatural or from The Walking Dead. And he does a good job in his role. But at the very beginning of it, by the way, I'm going to spoil a lot of stuff. So if you haven't seen this movie yet, then please be aware that I will be talking a lot about stuff that happens in the film. So including the ending. So the beginning of it, the way that the demon or the ghost is released is Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character is called out to a farm for a report on cow mutilations, and he is like a news reporter type thing, like he works for a newspaper, and there's nothing going on there. It's just a fake call pretty much, but he finds this weird tree in the middle of the field that he is drawn to. And when he goes there, he finds this like porcelain doll type thing, and it's like chained together, and it's all dirty. It's in the mud and everything. And he finds it, and he breaks it because he wants to create his own story. So he's going to create this fake story about a ghost. But when he does break it, it does actually release a spirit. And the weird thing is the doll is stamped with a date on it that says February 31st. 1845, and as everybody should know that February 31st is not a real date. So the entire time that I'm watching the movie, all I can think about is there's something wrong. They got the date wrong. That's not a real date. What are they going to do? They've got to fix this. They have to know that's not a real date. So I kept thinking the entire movie, like, that's the only thing I could think of. By the way, they do fix it. They do fix there is a reason behind the kind of fake date. And it's a dumb reason. It really is dumb. I'm going to go ahead and spoil the reason behind this. Is they say later on in the movie that the reason that the date is stamped to the porcelain doll is because it hides the soul into the doll, because they can always be released on certain dates. So if you give it a date that is an unbelievable date or a non-real date, then the soul will never be able to escape the doll. That, to me, that is extremely stupid. I mean, why would you give it a date to be released on anyways? Like, why not just say, can never, if you're going to put the doll in the soul, or put the soul in the doll, why not just say it can never be released? It's kind of stupid to give it a release date. So why would have to make a fake release date in order for it to happen? Anyways, the ghost is this lady who was decades old, was like in witchcraft, and she was murdered because of her witchcraft, and she is back to take revenge on everybody. And she does it. She disguises herself in as the Virgin Mary, and she presents herself to a lady who is deaf. And what she does is she actually gives the ability, deaf and mute actually, gives the ability to talk and hear. So that way she wants to give everybody else healing powers, so that they will believe in the Virgin Mary. And this is where you set up with everybody coming into the area to be healed, and then having to believe in this demonic spirit in order to do so. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character has to figure out a way to stop the demon from getting everybody to believe in her. It's kind of a silly plot anyways, but the ghost herself is awful. It is awful. It is one of the worst CG effects I have seen in a very, very long time. And I mean, it starts off with, it's so bad that the first time you see her is she comes up out of water and starts crawling across the water. I legitimately thought that it was going to be a dream, because it was so bad looking. I said, this has to be a dream, or it has to be watching a movie and it's going to pan out of the movie or something like that to be watching like a bad. But no, it was a legit thing that happened in the film, and the rest of the film depicted the exact same CG effects. It was awful. Not only that, is most of the scares weren't really, they were quick jump scares, but the second the jump scare would happen, then it would cut to another scene. It would be like somebody standing there, the ghost comes up, scares them, and then cuts to another scene. And it's like it doesn't resolve anything. It doesn't do anything. It's a lead up to a quick scare that isn't scary and then cuts away. And that's 90% of the movie. But then we go back to more of the ridiculousness CG with the ghost just going from person to person, scaring them. The ending is absolutely awful. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this is a spoiler as well. So they find out that the girl that is mute and deaf, is a descendant of this lady who was killed for witchcraft. So that's how she's able to go through her, is because she can only appear through her descendants. And this little girl is the last remaining descendant. So Jeffrey Dean Morgan decides he's going to try to stop the ghost, and the little girl jumps in Jeffrey Dean Morgan's way and gets killed. And so therefore the ghost dies because the last descendant is gone. Out of nowhere, Jeffrey Dean Morgan's character, who just recently met this girl, has no emotional relation whatsoever to this character, starts praying to God that the girl survives. And immediately the girl wakes up and has survived. Okay, cool if you want to have a happy ending, right? But it puts a plot hole, because then the character of the ghost can only be alive if that descendant is alive. So therefore, if the girl came back to life, wouldn't the ghost come back to life too? That was the one of the biggest things I had on my mind as soon as I left the theater, is why did they say that she would be dead if the descendant was dead, but then the descendant comes back, so therefore wouldn't the ghost come back? If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's no way around this plot hole. Or if you have seen it and you didn't realize that, let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on it, because that is the worst ending I've seen in a very, really long time. There's also a really bad CG fire effect, and the fire effect is awful. It's also one of the worst CG fire effects I've ever seen in my life. I'm talking like late 90s, early 2000s fire effects. Not good at all. So overall, I had fun laughing at a few parts of the movie, but overall it's a bad movie. It's not worth going to really see in a theater. If you're wanting to check it out, I would check it out on demand or wait for it to come out on DVD and Blu-ray. But I do not recommend spending a lot of money on this title, because it's ultimately not worth it. A lot of people didn't want to see it because it was a PG-13 horror film. And it definitely shows. It was aimed for a much younger audience, I think, especially without any blood or violence, really. Just quick jump scares that go nowhere, and just overall a very unhappy CG effects. Just very, I can't even imagine what their thought was when they were making this. But yeah, so my takeaway for the Unholy of 2021 is awful CG effects. Plot holes, or several plot holes, and bad storytelling and bad writing. That's the biggest thing. The acting's not bad. It's just everything revolved around. They had an opportunity to create something really cool. And I was wanting to say this. So the ghost was being killed for witchcraft. She was hanged by a group of people, and from where she was pretending to be the Virgin Mary, they had nailed a wooden mask over top of her face that resembled the Virgin Mary. And you see it at the very beginning. The first thing you see of them hammering the wooden mask to her, like nailing it to her. But then later on in the movie, it shows the mask, and it's 100% smooth. There's no nail holes anywhere. It's like they just put it out, like placed it on top of her head. They did not nail it or anything, and that bothered me a lot too. Don't ask me why, but it really did. It bothered me. But yeah, I had so many problems with the movie. Did not like the film. If you guys seen it, just let me know what your guys' thoughts are. If you did a video or something on it, just post a video down in the comments below, and I'll check it out as well. I don't recommend seeing it. It's not, I mean, maybe if you want to like make fun of it with your friends or something like I did. Otherwise, I don't recommend seeing the film. But let me know what you guys think of it, and I'll catch you next time.